Howdy folks, Nathan Adler here with the Fast Lane Car. Behind me is the 2015 Nissan Murano. Now, I have a quick apology. It's black, and on video, black never seems to really work right because you can't see all the lines, and there's so many new lines and forms and stuff. It's a totally different vehicle. Now, question is, for $38,550 as tested, is this new, very curvaceous Nissan Murano worth it? Find out next. Nissan has always built a good V6, and this is no exception. This is a 3.5 liter V6 that puts out 260 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque. Power is hooked up to the front wheels via a continuously variable transmission, a CVT. And if you want, just like this one, you can get all-wheel drive, power going to the rear wheels. Now, despite the fact that it's really good power and it moves nice, it does get mediocre gas mileage. 21 miles per gallon city, but 28 miles per gallon highway, which is actually pretty impressive. You hear that? Not much to hear. I'm going back and forth from a gravel, snow-covered road to regular tarmac. Noise is well muted. You know, I never thought of the Nissan Murano as a luxury vehicle. I always thought of it as just a slightly more expensive, larger Rogue. But now, with this new interior, yeah, it's kind of luxurious. And the ride is so smooth and the seats are so comfortable. Really, truly impressed with that. I don't know about you, but I've been on the fence about Nissan's design for the past few years, especially looking at things like the Juke, because there's just so much going on. But in this case, this is pretty interesting. The lines are totally different than I expected. On paper, it didn't look as good, or on a video screen. But in front of me, it's just got so much going on. I mean, look at this line here, up and over. It's an awesome shoulder. Yes, it's a little bulbous. The front end is way over-exaggerated, and so is the rear, but they balance each other out, and it definitely has, like, I wouldn't say scream. No. You know what it has? I figured it out. It has a little bit of curb appeal. Steering feel, well, it's a crossover, so you're really not going to get a whole lot. However, I really like the way the weight is on this steering. I like slow speed, heavy buildup. I love a heavy steering wheel. The overall feel of it being heavy is usually very cool. Now, one of the things the older Muranos had an issue with was cargo space, and that's because of the way they were shaped, but not so much with this one. Let me show you why. Behind the back seat, you have 39.6 cubic feet of space, which is impressive. And look how deep that is. Also, when you fold down the seats, and they do fold fairly flat, then you get yourself a total of 69.9 cubic feet of space. Say it with me, 69.9. That's a lot of space. It feels like an automatic. It never feels like you're being rushed into getting to high speed. It just seems like it just happens. It's very linear. The acceleration, the speed, it all goes just where you want it, and it doesn't really drone. So it really does feel like a regular automatic transmission, which at the end of the day is what a CVT should be. Feast your eyes on this little thing here. Kind of cool little chrome, right? Problem is underneath it, that chunk of plastic that's used for aerodynamics makes for a very, very low vehicle, which means no off-roading. has a Bose stereo system, and I really wish we could be more detailed from time to time when there's a really good stereo, but I will at least mention this. It's fantastic in this car. The bass is low. It's got just enough power to hurt my ears, which is exactly what I want. More importantly to me is the around view monitor. It is fantastic, and it's something that Nissan came up with. And basically what it does is it takes your vehicle and gives you a real-time bird's eye view of what you're doing while you're parking. And that's done with these little cameras underneath the mirrors down there and all the way over there in the back. It works. It works really well, and it's kind of fun at the same time. And now people are starting to copy it, including BMW. Acceleration, it's a strange thing because the engine, it growls. It actually makes a pretty nice noise. It never throws you back in your seat. However, I've been flying past people on various on-ramps left and right. So the engine is just right, and it seems like its sweet spot's right around 3,000 RPM. Wow, Nissan's really improved their interiors. And I want to start in the back because this is the most comfortable place in the car. Flat floor, tons of legroom. This seat is all the way back, and it's tall enough and long enough for someone like Andre who has freakishly long legs. And at the same time, look at it. I mean, I've got tons of space. I can't say enough about how comfortable this is, and there is something special that happened to me in this vehicle. Every time I'm in a car or a truck and it handles well in an emergency situation, then I tend to adore it, and that's exactly how I feel about this car. And it is a car. It's basically a station wagon. Last week I had the little guys in the back, and I was taking them to school, and everything's cool, and literally out of nowhere a guy comes flying out and loses complete traction and just starts to do a pirouette right in front of me. And as I was slamming on the brakes, I had to turn the wheel and accelerate to go around him because he's literally spinning towards me, so I had to go around him and accelerate. And this was on some really, really icy road. And you know what? Totally did it without a problem. In terms of overall build quality, things have really improved. In terms of design, it's improved. In terms of interior, it's improved. In terms of every single component that is important to somebody who wants to look at a vehicle like this, Nissan's improved it all. They really have done a very good job. The old scale of buy it, lease it, or rent it, or forget it, I will give it a buy it with a caveat. Do not bother buying a vehicle like this if you want to go off-road. Forget it. There is so little front ground clearance that you will scrape on just about everything. But on the other hand, if you want something that's a tall wagon that handles great and is extremely comfortable and very capable on ice and snow, this might be your vehicle. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan Adlin. Don't forget to go to tflcar.com for news, views, and real-world reviews. Auf Wiedersehen.